It's time for To the Max Sports, where we talk about sports. They're just two guys, Max and Drew, in a bar talking all things sports. Well, without the bar. And the beer. Wait, why aren't we in the bar?
Okay, guys.
Just two guys.
Are we on?
Yeah, we're on.
Well, announcers have gotten fired for stuff that's going on before the show. Didn't know they had a hot mic, but
luckily we weren't saying
God we were all clean.
Worth a damn.
Just talking about wives and sobriety.
I'll add the explicit tag if we have to.
I'm with the Oracle of San Antonio Radio, Jeff Vexler.
What's up, Andy?
Good to see you, brother. We got Brother Bob doing whatever Brother Bob does.
Come on.
I know. He's the best producer in town.
Thank you, Whip It Bob.
I'm the best producer on the 6th floor of this building.
That's right. The 6th floor. And
dude, has it been 2 weeks since I was here?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yep,
Nothing's happened.
Nothing's happened.
Let's see what I'm drinking tonight. That's always an exciting.
Oh, yeah. What you got?
Well, let's see.
We've got Bush.
Oh, hello, pie.
And I've lost the sound for it. There we go. Okay. Sorry, I missed the sound on that.
That was Booger saying
it was supposed to be this.
We've got Bush.
Oh, hello, pie.
I can watch that clip 100 times a day. It never gets old.
Again, well, I mean, it's not really beer. That's
my non-alcoholic beer is more beer than that.
Bush.
Yeah, stronger.
Well, let's get right into it if we haven't lost all our viewers yet. Super Bowl. Man, what a Super Bowl.
Really? Did you think it was a great Super Bowl?
I thought it was a
good Super Bowl.
Super
Bowl. A good Super Bowl.
Okay.
Entertaining.
It was close.
It got close. Well, okay, it was close pretty much throughout. I just never felt like it was a really well-played game. When the
did not play guy ran on the field in his civilian clothes.
That was interesting.
That was entertaining.
Okay, that was entertaining. There were two plays in the first half that were even memorable, right? The Jamar Chase great catch for a touchdown, and I guess OBJ's probably reception in the end zone.
But think about it, that was by design. That was the genius draw up of the two coaches, where they said, we're not going to give up the big play. We're going to stay contained.
Super Bowls often in the first half particularly are low scoring. It's something I usually gamble on, and I forgot to this year, and I wished I had.
I mean, generally the under. Generally the under is a good bet.
Yeah, it actually is a good bet overall, too. The public is always on the overs because they want to watch an entertaining game.
So
I didn't feel like it was.
What were your thoughts on the first half?
I thought it was
that either team.
I thought it was cautious. It was like two boxers feeling each other out. Instead of for one round, it lasted half the bout. Yeah. And for the most part, neither team wanted to throw deep and air it out. I didn't feel like it was a really well-played Super Bowl. The Rams won, obviously, with the worst rushing attack in Super Bowl history. What they rushed for, 2.3 yards a carry in that game. Neither team really rushed it very well. The Bengals were slightly better. I just didn't find it to be that entertaining a game. It could have been if Burrow had led his team back, but maybe I got spoiled, okay? Because this playoffs was awesome. It was awesome. It was more great games than I can remember in one playoff, 1 year's playoffs ever.
Including the Super Bowl, 7 straight games, all one possession scores.
That's awesome.
All one possession scores.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, I mean, at least it's a Super Bowl where they're driving at the end to tie or win the game.
Didn't the Bengals get just screwed over royally, though? I mean, when I was watching it live, I was thinking, oh, this is
Drew,
bullshit.
He's feeding into you.
This is bullshit. This is payback.
You mad?
This is payback for the bad call that obviously was missed against Jalen Ramsey on the T. Higgins catch. That was egregious, right? And NFL referees are terrible. So I'm not surprised they missed it. But the makeup that the referees gave to the Rams in the last 5 minutes of that game was really embarrassing.
Well, I'm glad you recognize that because I felt the same way. And people say, well, you're a Bengals fan. They keep going back. Yeah, I'm mad, Donald. I'm pissed. I waited 32 years for the Bengals to win a Super Bowl and another drive. So this could be my one and only chance to ever get a Super Bowl.
I have never played a down of competitive football, but generally my feeling is if you do not want the refs to dictate the end of the game, take it out of their hands. Both the Rams and the Bengals stalled after the beginning of the third quarter with that long touchdown pass and the interception and the field goal. They both stalled. It was 3 and out, 5 and out, 7 and out, 3 and out, 5 and out.
Yep.
They both stalled. One of those goes through and it's a different ball game.
Yeah, I think you're right. You're right. They did come down to a one possession game where the referees were likely to have influence. But if you go through it.
Here's the problem with me. They missed the Jalen Ramsey call. And to be quite honest, at that speed, you would have had to have seen that on replay, which everybody did. That was just a bam, quick.
I'll give you the referees stink and the referees can't see stuff and they need eyeglasses and all that. But your coaches needed to make a better call on 2nd and 1 on that last 4-down progression.
They did.
You have 2nd and 1.
The Bengals.
What the hell? The Bengals. Yeah. What the hell are you doing throwing downfield?
Okay.
You move the chains. Run it, move the chains, throw a screen pass, throw something short. Don't go downfield. Move the chains, keep the ball moving. You have plenty of time, plenty of field.
And I thought the run on 3rd and 1 with Perrine was really a stupid call. That ball needs to be put in the hands of your superstar. It needs to go to Burrow. We just saw him last week, for God's sakes, on crucial 3rd and 4th downs, drop back, pick up a couple of yards to keep the chains moving. To give it to Perrine in that situation with that Rams defensive line.
Mixon?
No, it was Perrine.
No, Perrine on 3rd and 1.
Right.
It was a terrible rush. Yeah. But we can all, I thought I saw it live, and now we see it in frozen still shots that are all over the internet.
Yeah.
That Aaron Donald was lined up off sides. Yeah. I mean, come on, officials.
Well,
that's terrible.
But
pull up that officiating meme. My God, while he's doing this, I mean, it's easy to Monday morning quarterback, but there was just.
Well, I mean the juxtaposition of that 2nd and 1 call, the 3rd and 1 call for Perrine. And what the Rams did on 4th down, you talk about give it to your best player. What did the Rams do?
Not
give it to Kupp. They give it to Cooper Kupp.
Oh, the Rams
that
did.
4th down play.
Sure.
A jet sweep.
That was a great call. And by the way, a ballsy call, because that's not what I would have called in that situation. And I pondered to guess not a lot of coaches would call a jet sweep in that situation.
If he didn't get the jet sweep, then we're saying what a bad call it is. So
that's correct.
It's all, does it work or not?
Well, no, you see, and that's my problem with the American sports fan. They're all about resulting. If Cooper Kupp doesn't make the 4th down, it doesn't make it a bad decision.
But I'm just saying,
I hate the play call. I don't want to run anything wide.
Yeah.
When I need a yard forward, I don't want to go sideways.
Same kind of treat. Hey, but to Bob's point, you put it in your superstar's hands, which is what he did.
And Sean McVay showed me he's a wunderkind. You have OBJ go down after playing an amazing first half up until that point.
Yeah, he
amazing. OBJ has turned into an actual responsible, mature adult in front of our eyes.
Well, for now,
I think he saw his season. I think he saw his life, his career flash before his eyes playing in Cleveland, realizing that he wasn't going to get paid ever again. Has he been irrelevant for almost 4 years now?
Well, he probably saw the guy in Tampa.
Oh, Antonio Brown.
And said, you know what? Do I want to end up like him?
Well, no. OBJ has been this way the whole season with the Rams.
No, he's been a soldier. I agree.
But it was only 3 months. Like, he may have just been giving it his best, his putting his right foot forward, really. I mean, he's going to get paid, don't you think?
I think you will.
I mean, I think it would be hard for Jerry Jones not to be even, how he is. He'll be interested.
He'll be incentive laced, but he'll get paid.
Yeah.
One thing you guys didn't mention that actually I thought was probably one of the big game changers is I was a little surprised and that early with the momentum to go for it on the second possession at the 50-yard line.
I loved it.
Had he punted
I loved it.
well, I understand it, and he's a genius if they execute it, but you're giving the LA Rams a lot of momentum, short field momentum early.
I like it even with its failure. I like the call because it sends the message to your team that we're taking this game. We think we're the better team. If you punt that ball and Zach, what's the head coach's last name? Zach Taylor, has impressed that upon his team all year that we're going to be aggressive. We're going to take, the game by the balls whenever we can. If you punt in that situation, you're telling your team, this one's a little different, guys, because the team on the other side's just too good.
Well, I don't mind when he went for it on their 40 a couple quarters later, but I just thought that was a little early in the game.
Yeah, and
it was 7 points.
And the whole message sending that trick play for the touchdown, that was a little bit of a tell for me too. It's kind of telling everyone in the world you can't play that defensive line and that defense straight up. You got to pull something out of your butt.
And that's true and that's fair. And sometimes, guys, you can't. I mean, wasn't it the Fiesta Bowl years ago with Boise State where they pulled all the BS trick plays, Statue of Liberty and everything? It's okay sometimes to recognize that you're outmatched. Beg your pardon?
Wasn't that out of the Brady playbook? Then they do that in the Super Bowl?
No, I don't
recall. There's another team that did that.
No. That was the Eagles who did it and succeeded. Right. And then Brady did it and didn't catch the ball.
That's right. Was it from Amendola maybe? Who threw that to him? Oh, no, it was Julian Edelman that threw it to him.
Yeah. Because I believe they try to do it too with the quarterback Stafford, and he didn't get the ball.
Look, that was a little bit desperate from them. I don't want to gloss over this, and I did say it, but I want to really put an emphasis on it. NFL refs suck. NBA refs suck. Major League Baseball refs they're okay. Umps, I should say. They're okay. But NBA refs, by the way, they get a bad name because they give star treatment, but really they're good at their profession. NFL refs are not good at their profession. They're not good at getting the calls.
They should be able to challenge interference calls.
I think that
somehow
if any game is going to be the impetus for that.
I like that in the NBA.
I love it. I love it. And maybe it would be good in the NFL. Last 5 minutes or something.
That's actually not a bad idea.
It's really not. It would not have changed, though, the T. Higgins touchdown over Jalen Ramsey, right?
But the last 2 minutes, you're taking the refs out of the equation of was it not?
I still do not understand why we do not have an official in the sky. Why? Why do we not have a member of the crew in the sky? Do you need a can opener?
I got something. Keep going. Keep talking.
Well,
Keep talking.
You know what?
I'm going to open this beer with that wrench I see up there.
The drone is the drone they have flying. That's your
the sky
ref.
cam.
Sky ref.
I
don't know either, Bob. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
I mean, they're human. They are going to make mistakes. I don't want their job. As to their profession, officiating isn't their profession. I think there's only one problem. I know there's only one full-time official in the NFL.
Yep.
That's the problem. These guys aren't paid all week to do it.
Channel locks, not just for doing home repairs.
So have y'all seen, by the way, the video on the 4th and 1 play, last play of the game, last consequential play of the game? Have y'all seen the still pic or the video of where Jamar Chase was?
He was wide open.
He had dusted Ramsey. Ramsey was on the ground. If Donald doesn't get to Burrow, it's lights out touchdown.
So let's end it with this.
Well, and what's I want to talk on that 4th down play. I think the fact that Burrow got the ball as close as he did to the guy that was right there.
When he was winging it, being twisted in a circle.
I think that receiver was like, yeah, it's not getting anywhere near me. Holy fuck, it's right near me.
It was close.
It was close. It was catchable.
It looked like it on TV.
So I'm going to end with this. I'm going to end with this rant. And I'm glad you guys mentioned that.
You got a rant?
Yeah.
All right. Give it to me.
We haven't gotten there yet.
to the Mike Brown family ownership of the Cincinnati Bengals. You've been running that organization, you and your dad, for 50 years. Things have got to change, okay? You've got a generational quarterback right now. You really do. I mean, this kid's a real deal. And you have, what in the hell?
I got it.
Boy, you interrupted my rant. But you have a generational quarterback. And you're going to ruin this kid's career. He's going to end up like Andrew Luck or Joe Theismann. You've got the money. You got the salary cap. You got the draft picks. Get this kid some help. Get him some help. And you've got a great team that can be around for a long time. And you got a great quarterback. This kid plays his heart out for you. He plays his heart out every single down. Give him what he deserves. And I will go on record and say that if he hadn't taken 19 sacks, if he hadn't taken 7 in the last game, if you had given that kid 3 seconds per play to throw, Bengals would have won that game.
I agree.
He was hurried and sacked almost.
That was the reason I picked the Rams 2 weeks ago. Remember, I said, I said Burrow's just not going to have enough time against that Rams front.
The statistic was the Bengals lost on pass blocking at the highest rate of any game in this season.
God. And
the Rams defensive line on pass blocking wins best of any game this season. Yeah. That was the stat. Wow. I forget who I heard say this. Football is about big men pushing other big men around so little men can run and throw the ball.
Yeah. Well, spot check this for me. He had over 50 sacks in the regular season, 19 in the playoffs, close to 70 sacks. This kid's going to get killed.
So let me ask you.
You've got to protect him.
I don't think anybody disagrees with you, okay? Because we all, even people who aren't Bengals fans, like Joe Burrow, and they like the way he plays. And frankly, watching this Bengals run was a lot of fun. How do you go about protecting him? Because you mentioned the draft. Is that the way to do it? Or do you do the Rams thing where you go out and you sign free agents?
I think you do a little bit of both.
Okay.
You got 52 mil in salary cap space. So there's and offensive linemen want to play for a quarterback that's going to make them look good.
Damn right.
And we don't have to have a superstar, just a serviceable offensive line. Just a guy that can give the man 3 seconds.
I gotta figure you're right that when you combine Mixon, Burrow, Chase,
and they're all under contract through 2023.
I gotta figure free agent offensive linemen are going to look at that as a destination. Yeah. But you're right. The Bengals have been cheap forever. They have the worst reputation of any ownership in the NFL.
Next to the Cincinnati Reds.
Well, I was going to say
what is it with Ohio?
Huh?
He's from there.
I know.
That's all you need to know.
But it could be a dream story. The kid's from Southern Ohio. He grew up a stone's throw from Cincinnati. I just love the kid. I love his moxie, man. The kid, when he's going down, like you said, is still winging that ball, trying to. And I just don't want to see the guy get seriously hurt. He's already had a serious knee injury, and they got to protect him, man.
And I even saw the report. I almost thought it was why are we even seeing this? But they're reporting that he's not going to need surgery in this offseason for the injury that he had during that game. You saw him go down and he was screaming.
Yeah. That looked bad. It looked really bad.
He may have tore a meniscus in his other knee.
When you listen to the talking heads online, and I don't know how much you do or what you even make of it, Andy, but they're all saying that they don't expect the Bengals to be back anytime soon. They're getting a lot of Marino vibes. Okay.
Well, see, here's the thing. He does sign. I got to check the defensive guys because, like I said, Mike Brown loves to sign guys to 1 year in and out deals, resurrect their career for 1 year. You're up on a murder charge, but your sentence is not till next year, but you're a good player and you want to come play for us. So I don't know how that defense, but you got to assume when you're in a Super Bowl, it could be your last one for a long time.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
look at Marino. Do you think when Marino came out his rookie year that we would have ever said this will be the last time we ever see him?
Certainly not.
You forced me to put money on whether the Rams or between the Rams and the Bengals, who's the first back in another Super Bowl. I'm putting my money on the Rams. The Bengals, You have
That's because
the
that's where the money's
Chiefs,
at.
the Bills,
I know.
the Chargers.
Yeah.
The AFC is stacked.
It's a tougher road to hoe,
It is.
for sure.
And not that the Bengals can't do it. They have a lot of young talent. All their skills players are under 25.
And signed for a couple years.
Yeah, but they have Lamar Jackson to go against. And is it Russell Wilson? Is it Aaron Rodgers? Whoever
they're
goes to
okay
Pittsburgh.
in their division.
You're
They're
sure?
Okay in their division. I mean, we got Pittsburgh. They're in rebuild.
Wait a minute. Pittsburgh's not in a rebuild. They just need a quarterback.
Yeah, they get
And-
some
and
defensive. They got a
Cleveland-
lot of defensive issues.
They're good on D. And they
No,
and
you're
they got the
thinking of
Browns.
You're thinking of your daddy's Pittsburgh.
No,
Steelers.
I am not. They got Bush.
Where were they ranked this year?
In what?
Steelers ranked in D. They sucked.
They were not. They did not suck.
Cleveland's kind of in disarray. Is Baker Mayfield the franchise?
He's gone. But if you put Russell Wilson in there for
Yeah, but
Baker
you're
Mayfield, don't they
assuming-
become
Okay,
good?
when Russell Wilson becomes the quarterback, then we can talk about it.
Okay, but you know,
He ain't going
that,
to Cleveland.
you know that Cleveland and Pittsburgh are going to upgrade at quarterback, right?
No.
It'd be hard to
How
downgrade
is
from those two
How's
turkeys.
Pittsburgh gonna? What was their defensive ranking?
Oh, I didn't know you wanted defense.
He said their defense was good
They're
this year.
Devin.
Pittsburgh's defense sucked.
No,
They got a lot of holes. I see them winning the division next year.
really? I mean, just like sight unseen. Look, I like the Bengals too, but like they're in a murderer's row.
Hats off to Vex for 1, 2. What is it? Not that bad, actually.
Passing defense.
Yeah,
Their
and
pass
they
defense
had to make up for
terrible.
Ben Roethlisberger throwing, moon balls all game. I'm telling you, the Steelers are good, particularly if they get back a quarterback of note.
They're
Okay,
they're definitely good enough.
yeah,
I mean,
Good enough.
if they signed Aaron Rodgers, I'd be like, yeah, But in that division, who are your exceptional quarterbacks right now?
Lamar Jackson.
Meh.
Really? What?
Hold
Was
on.
the MVP 2 years ago. What
Yeah,
are we talking about?
and I had a 32-inch waist 20 years ago.
I mean, okay, so okay, never mind. Forget it. The Bengals are winning their division next year and the 5 years after it. Nobody can beat them. Forget it. Forget it. Okay, forget it.
I picked the Ravens.
No, you don't
to win the
have to
Super Bowl
flush
this year,
farts.
No,
so-
I mean, to Jeff's point, AFC is hard. AFC is hard. So if Burrows and the Bengals don't make it back, I'm not going to be surprised.
it's going to be tough.
Be really
And that's
hard.
why it hurts so bad to lose. It hurts so bad to have another drive. The only difference between when Joe Montana, he only gave us 16 seconds. So I knew we were screwed on that one. I actually thought that maybe he had enough time to at least, if McPherson could have been 50, 55 yards away.
You did have enough time.
60.
Don't throw it down the field on second down.
Didn't have an offensive line.
So I forgot there's one more really good quarterback that might wind up in the AFC next year, and that's
Yeah, but
Tom Brady.
You're just
He's
speculating.
good. No, I am not. This is my left testicle telling me he's either going to San Francisco or he's going to Miami. Telling you.
Okay, Lance, that left testicle
I'm
is
telling
probably
you.
fake.
Where's my cartoon?
Okay, y'all didn't believe me when you didn't believe me when I told you the Bengals were going to the Super Bowl. You don't have to believe me. It's fine.
I think Brady may sit out a year and then his ego will get the best of him and he'll come back. Or maybe mid-season, if he likes the team, sees their direction and their quarterback goes down. But yeah,
He won't wait until midseason. He's
No,
not that kind of guy.
I don't want Brady in the NFL anymore.
I'm just telling you, he's
I am
not
done
done.
with him.
He's not done, man.
well, we better move on.
Yo, here you go. Here you go. Here's a report from Yahoo.
It's on the internet. It must be true.
That's just to
I'm
get
telling you.
knuckleheads like you to read.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, but let's get
What are you
into your one.
snacking on over there?
Yeah, you want some?
I don't know. What is it?
Pretty good.
What is it?
You have beer, you got to have nuts.
Oh, hot nuts. Go for it. All right, what's next?
NBA wheelhouse.
Oh, my God.
That's your wheelhouse.
How good is the NBA right
so
now?
let's talk about the NBA trades. Let's start with your Spurs.
That's a part
Derek
owner I
White,
can tell
you
you.
like that?
I've loved Derek White.
They were backcourt heavy.
Since the minute the Spurs drafted him, I thought he was puro Spurs. I'm really happy with his time here. The reality is that he's a little bit of an older player, not necessarily on our timeline, and frankly, not at a position of need. It was a great trade by Brian White. Great trade.
I agree.
Spurs front office made. This was absolutely the best trade deadline day that I can remember.
Yeah,
as a Spurs fan.
they're reloading for the future, and I think they stole from Toronto, man. They
How so?
well with the draft pick that they also got out of that.
Well, getting a draft pick
Because
for
Gorman's
Thaddeus
gone
Young.
after this year, right?
Dragic, they'll
we got
release
Thaddeus
him any minute.
out in the draft pick. I mean,
Right. So I think at the end of the day, the DeRozan deal nets us. Well, it's really the Kawhi deal that brought back DeRozan. Now DeRozan out, and Thaddeus Young, was part of the DeRozan trade. Nets you 2 first-rounders, 2 second-rounders, and a pick swap.
Yeah.
That's not so bad.
that's not bad.
It's not bad. It's not as good as the Paul George haul, but it's about as good as the Spurs probably could have done.
Yeah, I mean, to get that number of draft picks with some what I would consider to be middle of the line NBA players.
Yep, I agree.
And I'll tell you what, the Spurs are great about finding nuggets late and developing. White was a 29th pick.
Yes, he was.
And we kept DeJounte Murray. I think he's
Also
the future.
29.
He was was he 18 or 19?
No, DeJounte Murray was like 29.
That's crazy.
28, 29.
So they're really good about developing late picks.
We're awesome at it. Now the Spurs need to get a lot of ping pong balls, lose out the rest of the season, and get that great draft pick.
Yeah.
And by the way, we have 3 first-round draft picks in this draft, thanks to great trading. Maybe you can combine the 3 and move up a spot or 2 to get a guy. And the Spurs do a great job of evaluating character of player.
Yeah.
And look, I can watch the NBA and I can watch college basketball and high school basketball until I'm blue in the face, and I do. And I can recognize talent, and I can choose this guy's talent set over this guy's talent set. But what I can't do, because I'm not a front office type person, is find out about their character.
Yeah.
And the Spurs do the best job in the league of researching players' character. When you find out that Kawhi Leonard, though, really not an impressive collegiate, okay? He just wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
He was a decent player, but he didn't jump off the page at anybody. Yeah. But the Spurs did the research and found out that he was a gym rat.
Yeah.
And found out that he had some skills, some assets that really were untapped at San Diego State. And they were like, okay, so this is our kind of guy. And, Kawhi kind of turned his ass on them. So maybe the character evaluation wasn't perfect, but you never know. They're human beings, right? Everybody changes their mind sometimes. I love what the Spurs did. The flip side of that, by the way, is that Boston got themselves a damn good guard.
Yeah.
And Derek White in the papers and in the blogs up there got ripped for that trade. Everybody in Boston was like,
I thought it was a win-win. I thought it was a win for
it
them.
is a win. Boston just doesn't know it yet. And that, look, yeah, they had to give up a pick. Yeah, they had to give up on Josh Richardson, who'd started to meld into the Celtics lineup and started to play a little bit better of late. And they had to get rid of Romeo Langford, who was a top draft pick of theirs not just a couple years ago. Langford hasn't worked out there. Okay, he doesn't get the ball. He's not going to get the ball because he's not at a position in need in Boston. They have Tatum and Brown. Schroeder proved to be a terrible point guard for that team. They got rid of him. Now they move in Derek White into that position. And what the people in Boston who poo-pooed this trade, what they don't understand is what a high IQ basketball player Derek White is.
Absolutely.
And they've won 3 in a row since he got there, 7 in a row overall. Derek White is putting up his usual kind of numbers, nothing that jumps off the page at you. It's not Russell Westbrook from the Oklahoma City days. It's not triple-double stuff. But if you watch the games, it's high IQ stuff. It's the Derek.
Solid NBA, Avery Johnson type.
Yeah, moves the basketball, takes charges, makes the right pass when it's on time. Obviously, he can make shots when he's open. Derek White's just a great all-around basketball player, and he's going to help that Celtics team learn how to win. They got better. I don't care what the brilliant Boston media thinks of it.
Yeah, speak to the Toronto trade that got Dragon.
Wait, the Toronto trade where Toronto got rid of Dragic?
Yes.
Doesn't matter. Toronto needed another guy.
Did we win on that trade with Toronto?
It's kind of a win-win. I mean, Dragic wasn't playing for them. They got Thaddeus Young, who's another switchable 6'8", 6'9" player, which is basically what Toronto's gone to this year. If you're not watching the Raptors, they're actually worth watching because they basically have a lineup that's all the same height except for Fred VanVleet. We taking a commercial break? We have commercials? Sorry. We have sponsors? Oh, my God.
We're working on it.
Okay. Anyway, they're kind of interesting, and Thaddeus Young gets thrown up there, and he'll be somehow in the mix there. Obviously the headline trade is the Simmons for Harden thing, where both teams get better. I think people are highly underestimating how damn good the Nets are going to be if Kevin Durant gets healthy, if Kyrie Irving can start playing again.
I think the Nets win that trade.
I do too.
Do you have that Harden picture?
I have a picture of Harden.
Harden to me is a guy that that's
oh my God.
So that's how that's what he unveiled during their 50-point loss.
WTF is that?
That is a pimp that pimps out homeless people.
Wow.
Are those sleeves not attached?
Yeah, it's more of like I said, if you're a pimp and you're pimping out homeless people.
No. You know what this looks like? You guys are old enough to remember like 80s sci-fi television shows.
For sure.
This is like the outfits they would wear in those shows.
You're right.
Like dances and stuff.
You're right. If you haven't seen this, social media has just been all kinds of fun.
How did they miss this?
Oh, it's been on.
So here's the thing. I love the NBA, and I am in on the NBA and its future. I am out on watching the players walk into the games and having a fashion show.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't care in the NFL. I don't care in the NBA. I've never cared. I'm never going to care. Stop showing that crap.
Oh, you didn't like Joe Burrow's
I didn't
Sharks?
No, he looked like an idiot. First off, he looked like an idiot.
Against Matt Stafford's, I think this was on my clean pile this morning.
I didn't see Stafford, but if he dressed that way, then I'm proud of him.
Stafford broke out the Bill Belichick collection.
I would be wearing the I don't give a shit outfit
but back
too.
to Harden. I mean, this is a guy who he just can't seem to fit in with any team. He's been with Oklahoma, Houston, the Nets, and now Philly. He's like the Allen Iverson of today's generation. He's a high baller. He's going to get his points, but he's just not going to take your team to another level, in my opinion.
Well, to your point, 9 of the 20 highest usage rate seasons have occurred in like the last 5 years of the NBA. And most of them are James Harden years. He needs the damn ball. And I don't know how well that meshes with Embiid. He doesn't really love to run the pick and roll. Embiid doesn't either. Yeah. Well, you would think that if you have those two guys, the right way to use them is just run pick and roll all day. We'll see. I mean, look, first of all, Harden's fat and out of shape.
True.
Secondly, he's a malcontent. Lastly, he hasn't been good this year. He just hasn't. He looks like he's in decline. If I had to guess, I'd say he's 32.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, he ain't getting any younger.
And that would be just a guess. Okay.
I'd say 29.
No, I bet you he's 30 for sure.
You're both wrong. 32.
Well, he did say 30.
Exactly what
Somebody said 32?
Yeah.
I wasn't paying attention.
What are you smoking tonight, Bob? I want some of it.
Nice.
Only the good stuff.
I don't know how that works out in Philadelphia, but I think Philadelphia had to make that trade because Simmons wasn't going to play for him. They got back a good player in return. They had to give up draft picks. I don't like that part of it. But and then the Nets are terrifying.
Yeah.
They are terrifying.
I think Adam Simmons, who is just he wasn't happy in 76er land. I think it's a good fit.
It's a really good fit. And Andy, if you guys want another one from me, look, the Nets had lost a bunch of games in a row before they won one the other night. They are in a full on like mudslide down the hill.
Right.
But if they make the playoffs and they have those 3 guys playing,
a lot of weapons.
Tell me who's beating them.
I agree. I'm not going to argue with you.
It is a long shot, but I would put money on it.
But here's one team that may beat him, and I love this trade because I love this guy. I love Ibaka, Serge going to the Bucks.
Okay. When's the last time you watched Serge Ibaka play?
10 years ago.
I know. That's the problem.
But you know, he
hasn't been relevant in several years because he's not the same guy you remember.
But was he injured?
He's just gotten old.
But they needed someone to fill that Brooks Lopez void who's been out.
They did, and he will do well enough at that.
And, you know, the freak's the freak, so you got him. but I still loved his grittiness. So maybe he can put it together.
You're right. Ibaka
Did they
will
give
be
up much
fine.
for that trade?
No, they give up nothing.
Yeah. So, I mean, better than nothing.
They gave up Dante DiVincenzo, who was kind of an extra piece with the way they've been playing lately. They didn't really need him.
And then speaking of another guy who was going to be the next coming, but just couldn't stay healthy on the hardwood, what do you think about the Porzingis trade?
Well, I think it's sad. I think Porzingis, when he came into the league his first year and a half in New York, he really did look like the evolution of Dirk Nowitzki, right? Taller, as good a shooter in many ways, better athlete in many ways.
Numbers,
He was insane. Injuries derailed him. It's a shame. He was basically a salary dump.
Yeah.
I mean, the Wizards don't really want him. They wanted off that Davis Bertans contract,
right?
Former Spur.
Yeah.
And they were able to get it.
Yeah.
And they wanted off of Spencer Dinwiddie, and they got it. Yeah. The Mavericks are a freaking mess.
What do you think about Dinwiddie? Just
not much.
Spared affair?
Yeah. I mean, can he help you win a few games if you're a bad team? Absolutely, because he can put the ball in the bucket. Is he going to make the Mavericks better? I don't see how. He's a guy who demands the basketball. Do you want the ball out of Luka Doncic's hand? Probably not. He's probably a little bit of an insurance policy for the Mavericks in case they lose Jalen Brunson in the offseason, which they might. But they had to get rid of Porzingis to be able to have the money this offseason to re-sign Brunson. And now I think they will.
So give me your 2 NBA winners in all the trades and your 2 NBA losers.
Oh, the biggest winner by far to me as a Spurs fan is the Spurs. They absolutely did the thing that I have been waiting for them to do since the day Kawhi left.
Genius GM moves.
Brilliant. And it's, I know Spurs fans are out there feeling the same as me. It's a finally.
Yeah.
Ever since Kawhi left, the way to get better is to play the long game, to get young, dumb, and fun for a few seasons, get high draft picks, see if you can bring in that alpha that makes
because ping pong ball goes in the right direction.
Because your point a minute ago was great, that the Spurs are awesome at developing these kind of late picks into adequate players.
Yeah.
They rarely turn them into superstars, right?
Yeah.
They don't necessarily make them into superstars, although DeJounte Murray. Yeah. So they're rotation players.
Yeah.
But in order to get that centerpiece, the Tim Duncan, the Giannis, you usually need to be drafting a lot higher than 28, right? Sure. So here we are. The Spurs are going to be able to draft high for at least a season, maybe even 2. They get a pick swap with Boston in 2028. Boston may suck in 28 for all we know. Yeah. I mean, to me, they're the biggest winners. I would say that the Nets are huge winners. And, you know, I don't want to put Philly in the loss column, but Philly's the question mark.
I thought it was a loser. Yeah, that's the one that it could blow up real quick.
It sure could.
Because already now Harden's going to be out, for a week or 2 still?
Yeah.
He's out of shape.
Yep.
I think Philly's a loser in that one.
I don't want to call him a loser because I want to see the way it works on the floor first.
Yeah.
There's a good chance that Tyrese Maxey next to James Harden becomes a wicked backcourt.
Yeah.
And Danny Green or Matisse Thybulle at the 3 as your
They kept their young guards. They didn't lose any of their young guards.
They did.
And that's important.
It's pretty smart.
Yeah.
So I have a hard time calling him a loser. I'd say the biggest loser.
I guess the biggest point I'm trying to make is will he disrupt the chemistry as James Harden seems to do with every team he's on, or do you think he can make it work this time?
I think that Joel Embiid is the biggest swinging dick in the entire NBA. And if he has a problem with the way James Harden is acting in his locker room, Embiid's the one guy that every single dude would fear. He's the one guy.
Yeah.
He's fun, by the way. Everybody loves playing with Embiid. Everybody. But he's also a badass. Yeah. I mean, he proved that with Simmons. I mean, when Simmons took a shit in the playoffs, Embiid called him out on it, which I love.
Yeah.
And he'll do it on Harden too.
Yeah.
I think Harden better be on his best behavior because remember, he wants to get paid. He wants to continue to get paid. And if he doesn't act right, and if he doesn't perform in Philadelphia, I mean, there's no guarantee he stays there. So I don't want to call him a loser. I'd say the biggest loser is probably Latvian big guys. Davis Bertans and Kristaps Porzingis. That's it. There's your biggest losers. Those two guys.
Have you noticed NBA's kind of transitioning to bigs again? And it's been a while.
I have. I think 1, 2 in the MVP voting this year in some order is going to be Embiid, Jokic.
It's been a long time.
And probably 3, we'll be honest. Yeah. So
the extinct NBA center is making a comeback.
It is. Now, not every team has one, but the ones that do have special ones.
Yeah.
And I do love watching it.
And that's all it takes. And then a new trend develops.
Yep. Well, everybody's going to have somebody to slow those guys down, right?
True.
Yeah.
Well,
that was fun, Andrew.
Yeah, I think we've gone kind of long tonight. I was going to talk Major League Baseball. We'll do that next week. Jeff, don't make yourself a stranger.
Well, damn it. What time is it? We could go another hour.
Yeah, we can go forever.
7:40. I mean, to touch on baseball, just a quick, if you're a baseball fan, maybe go get some Prozac or lithium or something to calm the anxiety, because you're not seeing spring training next week, and you may not see opening day on March 31st.
Major League Baseball does the best job of, when they're having a hard time gathering viewers, of finding the best way to piss them off even further.
Isn't that the truth?
They do this all the time.
This will be the second lockout, I think, in 3 years. It's just every time, it's like the mafia. Every time I try to go, they pull me back in.
I didn't realize this. This is the second longest lockout in Major League Baseball history.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Already?
Well, they had that disaster in the early 90s, and it took a long time to build their fan base back.
Well, thanks. Steroid.
They had to steroid them out. They had to lighten up. They had to shorten the Major League stadiums. They had to roid them out.
Bob, what was it you said before the show in pregame about baseball revenue?
Baseball revenue is up.
Can you show anyone who's watching?
How to do this with a channel lock? Yeah, just
use a screwdriver to open up your O'Doul's or whatever you're doing.
Baseball revenue is up. Player salaries are stagnant or going down.
Yeah.
How the hell is baseball revenue up?
I believe it.
I feel like people don't even watch it anymore. I don't remember the last conversation I had.
They have these huge contracts with, with the
Fox and et cetera.
Well, I mean, and a lot of regional broadcast stuff.
That's the deal.
One of the problems here in San Antonio is we don't have a baseball team.
Yeah.
And we never will have one.
Well, we can't have a baseball team because we don't have the population to give enough viewers to make a profitable network.
We can't even get 6,000 fannies at Wolf Stadium, let alone fill up a major league stadium.
No, and I understand that. But revenue is up, salaries are going down. And it's interesting how, I mean, you look at football, and analytics has destroyed the fourth down. Go for fourth down, always go for the 2-point conversion, always risk it kind of a deal. In baseball, it's screwing the older players. And that's where the problem is. And I don't know how you can fix that. How can you fix management? I'm not going to pay a 34-year-old player a lot of millions of dollars when the analytics tell me he's not going to be worth it. Max Scherzer notwithstanding, if you're a 34-year-old baseball player, you're not going to produce like you did 9 years ago.
Baseball's so screwed up, Andy. Yeah. I saw it today, and this is how I used to love baseball. I mean, I can still recite to you every Cubs lineup from between about 1984 and 1990. Yeah. Loved it. Watched more of it than I did the other two major sports.
So did I. What turned you off?
The game. And then today I realized that a guy that I've never heard of, I'm sorry, I'd never heard of the guy. For those of y'all out there listening, you're going to yell at me if you're younger or you're a fan of this player. Maybe I'm supposed to know him, but he turned down an 11-year, $350 million contract.
Well, they're not negotiating now. Who is that?
I'm telling you, I couldn't tell you the guy's name.
They're not negotiating now. They can't talk to each other.
I might have made this up. Juan Soto? Is that somebody?
Oh, yeah. Washington Nats.
Yeah, the Nats.
Okay. I think it was Juan Soto.
Maybe it's one he did turn down, but
11 years, $350 million.
Yeah.
And you turn it down.
Well, I know they're not negotiating now, but we'll touch on this next week.
He turned it down a while ago, and he's still 3 years from free agency.
Oh.
And this is kind of one of the problems and one of the things they're talking about in the negotiations is salary arbitration a lot earlier, the manipulation of service time, and a lot of stuff that hits those younger players because they're getting paid squat comparatively. They're getting paid a little bit more than I am.
The younger players during their producing years aren't getting the money, and that's when you're supposed to get your money. And, the lifespan of an average baseball player is probably no more than the average baseball player, 4 or 5 years. So they're saying it's becoming the elite millionaires, and then everyone else.
Oh, yeah.
No middle class.
No middle class.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
kind of like this country.
And Soto's agent, Scott Boras.
Scott Boras is still alive.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, boys, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, this is fun, guys. Tune in next week. Please don't be a stranger.
Tell my wife thanks for letting me do it.
Thanks,
We
wife.
thank Jeff's
You know
wife.
what? This is therapy.
Oh, it is.
And we're having a good time, and we'll see you next week. Guys, please subscribe. I saw we picked up a few extra subscribers.
We did on the
and that's
YouTube.
pretty cool. That helps us out. We're just guys having fun, arguing like we would in a bar. And we'll see you next week. And again, OH.
We're out.